My name is Linda B. I was born in Jamaica in a little town called St. Catherine.
Tell us a little bit about how it was growing up in Jamaica. What kind of music were you listening to as in the early years?
Gospel music, because my mother and father was Christian, and the only thing that we were allowed to do is to follow them to church 24/7.
Okay.
That's the only life we knew at the time.
Okay. And when did you find yourself coming to Bristol? At what age were you?
I was, rather young.
Rather young, okay.
Rather young, and I came to this country back in 1966. Before we left Jamaica, we were told that England was paved with gold, right? And that is only a trick to get we from Jamaica. But as a young child, our parents tell us all kind of thing to get us into this country. And when I came to this country, I think my first experience landing at Heathrow Airport was all these black smoke coming out of this thing. I've never seen a chimney before because we don't have chimney in Jamaica. Maybe you do, but where I come from in the country, there isn't any chimney. So it was quite strange to see these black smoke coming out the top of the roof. And I can remember saying to my mom, "Mom, the house is on fire." She said, "Don't be so stupid. It's smoke. It's cold air burning." It was absolutely freezing coming from a hot climate into a cold country. It was really, really, scary and frightening because you're not used to the system and you're not used to the country as well. And it was quite strange because I've never seen a ginger person as well. Now I know it's a ginger-headed person, but at the time I saw this ginger lady and I thought, hey, in fact, in Jamaica, we know of white people, put it bluntly, white people, but they don't look white to you because they've been in the country so long that they are dark and you don't call them white. But when you come to this country, you realize that your color is completely different from another nationality, and it was quite mind-bending. I didn't actually came from Jamaica to Bristol. I came to a town called Chippenham, that is in Wiltshire, and I was schooled in Chippenham as well. And when I was 19, I met a nice young man, which I thought was nice, and as I said, I was looking for a band because I actually wanted. The first reggae music I actually heard was Jimmy Cliff on the radio, and I got interested. I wanted to change from gospel to reggae music. I've never sung reggae music before, but it was a challenge, and I wanted to know more about that sort of music because in the church it's like clapping and that sort of thing, but when you hear that sort of music, the bass line makes you want to sort of whine and that kind of thing. And I was influenced by the reggae. I actually heard it on the radio, and this was quite strange. My mom and dad was at work, and we are not allowed to have television in those days, nor radio, because mom said it was bad influence on young people. So my next door neighbor had a thing. They didn't have radio at the time. They call it gram, radiogram. And Jimmy Cliff came on. I think it was The Harder They Come. And oh my God, it was The Harder They Come because that changed my mind. Although I like, gospel music and that sort of thing, I wanted to find out more about this sort of music.
So that was the sort of turning point for you in terms of changing your
My
perception,
life.
your life, your interest in music.
Yes.
Did you always know that you wanted to be a singer?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, because when I was the age about 11, my mom asked this gentleman who was a pastor to give me some piano lesson. I was one of the most, best singer in the church. Everywhere that I go, from Rugby, Nottingham, gospel song, they always wanted to hear me and my twin sister or the family, which I won't tell you the name of my surname, which is B. And that's where it was. I wanted to sing, but I wanted to do also something different from gospel. And then I was influenced with the reggae music, and that's where it all started. Boyfriend, I told him what I wanted to do. I wanted to become a singer, and I was looking for a band. Although I had a band, a gospel band in Bath that I was singing with, he said to me that if I do come to Bristol, he would find me a band to play in, whether that was a trick to get me into Bristol or whatever, but I did. And it didn't happen. It didn't. But I started going around the clubs, and I also went to Bumble Club, and I saw Bob Marley, and that was it. I thought, he's all right, you know, I like what he's doing, so I'm going to find out more about it. And there was actually a singing contest at the Bumble Club, and I entered for the singing contest as well, and I didn't get anywhere because there was something happened, you know, and it didn't happen. But I met a gentleman named Dallas.
Okay.
And he said to me, "Hey, what baby, you look like say you can sing, so, you know, chat with me." And that's what I did.
Okay.
He asked me to do his backing vocals, and I started doing backing vocals for other artists along here, and I was just chugging along doing my thing. And it so happened about 7 years after that, a gentleman by the name of Jack Wilson came back from Jamaica, who was an international star at the time, and he went home to start a new life out there, and he came back to England. And before he went to Jamaica, he heard that I was interested in music, and he came back and he asked, you know, what happened to Linda B. Nobody didn't know who Linda B was, or pretend they didn't know who Linda B was. Because as I said, Dallas said, he could see potential in me, the rest couldn't see that. You use and abuse. And that's what happened.
Okay.
Then Jack Wilson picked me up, and we went into the studio, and I recorded Money and Goodbye My Love.
Okay, and what year was that? How involved were you in sound systems? What's your kind of earliest memories of Carnival and sound systems?
Ajax sound system, Tarzan sound system, Sam sound system, Coxsone sound system. You name it, sound system is here, man. They're brilliant. You know, I like the bass line, you know what I mean? When you go into blues and you hear the sound system running off the tracks, them, you know, especially sound system clash. Wicked. I can remember the days of old when I used to go into Ajax up Brighton Street or up by the Shubeen. They call it Shubeen them days. Yes? And you got Sound Clash. Oh my God, and it's dark in there, and you hold a corner, and you hold your man, and you do a little bit of whining, and you know, my God, that's what sound system is. We always look forward with something go, because in Bristol, with the sound system thing, we go out about 4 in the morning, maybe 2 in the morning. Sometimes we're coming home when people are going to work. You know, it's so nice in the blues that you just don't want to leave.
What did it give to the community?
A meeting point where everybody can just go, have a drink, have a chat. Okay, you do have your little smoke. Now, everybody have their little smoke, but you know, people that you haven't seen for ages or whatever it is, or you can just have a chat. Hey, hello, darling, I haven't seen you for so long, you know what I mean? Ajax done so much for the community, but has the community give back Ajax something in return? And also Gershom as well used to have the Black and White Cafe. He done a lot for the black people. Maritha Cafe did the same thing, you know.
What was so special about the Black and White Cafe?
You could go in there and you could buy your dumpling, you could buy your saltfish, your fried fish, you could play skittle, you could, you know, just sit down, have a meal and have a chat, play domino, ludo, coon can, you name it. That's what these little places is about. It's not just a drugs den, you know, as what the authority make you to believe that. As far as they're concerned, where there are a lot of black people associate together, we are committing a crime, and it doesn't go like that. The police, they close it down because they keep on complaining that there's a lot of hard drugs being sold in there. It's just that they do not want the Jamaicans them to associate together. Black and White Cafe done a lot for the Jamaicans, because not only that is the Jamaicans alone that goes in these establishments, you got born white people, whether it's women or men, that loves to associate themselves with Jamaicans because we're completely a different race. We're kind, caring, loving, and happy-go-lucky people. We just like to have fun. And we like reggae music, and we love reggae music.
So in terms of what came after 70s, 80s, Massive Attack and all of that, how much do you think they were influenced by the sound systems?
Everything that comes out in the media is all to do with reggae music. And no matter what, if you listen to the bass line and the rhythm track on any of the music them that are playing now, it is a part of the reggae music. And no matter what they come out with, they still cannot stop reggae music. Reggae music is here with a force and they can't stop it. Their dub plate is just running the music, man. Our man just chat over that, you know what I'm saying? He just do a little bit of talking. MC does dub plays. Singers does dub plate, drum and bass, and a little bit of this and a little